Yo, what's up? It's your boy Carcino here. Let's get into it. Patreons, y'all always get the gist of a lot of the things that's going on here. Now, we get right to this. There's no explosions, no countdowns, no nothing. It's Patreon. So, M.I.A, the artist, who came out with Paper Plane, Swagger Like Us, and she was on her way, right? Now, what happened to this beautiful woman is very tragic. She ran into a situation where she was going to be involved in all kind of mischievous behaviors and just treacherous betrayal and sabotage. Jay-Z was her manager as he was managing T.I. Yeah, Kanye with Rock Nation. They were all on the same team. And she was helping bringing Ti back to prominence with all these things that's going on, and with all of this happening so fast, and her unique style had resonated real easy with the people that was connected to her. She had deep roots with her father. Her father was a freedom fighter, but she was mad at him because he was too busy fighting for the people. He forgot about his family and the danger they was in. And the mom, she was fighting to protect them. She ended up having to send them to the UK, her brother and her, to for their safety. And just going through that and actually meeting some of the members of the Brofman family. She didn't have really any idea what she was dealing with. She was dealing with someone that was similar to her, her husband, her child's father, who she was with, Richard, I believe his name is, Brofman, and he's part, because the Brofman family is a billion-dollar family that owns Seagram's Gin. They own a lot of different businesses. They have a family crest. They come from old money. Okay, you had Edward Brofman, the head of Seagram's. He was first, and then Junior came along, and then Junior ended up, marrying a Lebanese woman, and their son ends up marrying, well, not marrying, but having a baby with M.I.A. So Benjamin is his name. So Benjamin Brofman, right? That's who she ends up falling for. And they ended up having a son together. And in the middle of them having a custody war for the child, Benjamin is come from a very powerful family. Even though he's mixed, comes from a very powerful family, mostly from his father's side. Now, doing this nasty split, the Brofman family had offered her money to step aside. Let's get this thing over with. We're going to pay you to walk away. We're going to take our son and raise him in the Brofman way. And even though his last name is Brewer, she had no idea about his father's connections and things of that nature until they were into their relationship already. And to see how dark the rabbit hole actually goes, it's very wicked. And it seems as if this was forced, as the former president of Warner Brothers was his father, Warner Brothers Records. So now you're starting to see a big issue with what's going on with her going through a custody battle for her child, and how Jay-Z played a big part in all of this. This is when she was revealing it to the world, what was going on with her and her situation, as Rock Nation froze her out. That's right. They did not protect her at all. M.I.A comes out and accuses Jay-Z for selling her out. She accuses Jay-Z of letting the Brofmans buy him out, take money under the table. And she heard it and she knows and got the proof that Jay took the money. Because soon as the case and they were going into the hearing, Rock Nation immediately stopped everything with her. She couldn't get shows. Her music was taking off of the radio. Jay-Z was AWOL, would not speak to her anymore. He abandoned her. He abandoned his artists for money, the power of the Brofmans. Now, she brought a lot of things to light that most of the people in the world don't get, they don't understand, and may not know. Now, if you look at the thing from the bigger perspective, did he really just respond now? From something I sent him at 7 p.m. Now, here's a scenario that many don't seem to get. The Brofman family is powerful. They're investment bankers. They're everything. They are always involved in something. They're Romanian Jews, right? Now, this Romanian Jewish family has a very key component to the family. That's one of the major components to it. That's Sarah Brofman. Now, you might have heard her name before. Sarah Brofman is named in a lot of the claims that went on with a big old cult, sex cult that took place, that was very infamous because it has some prominent television stars involved in it as well. Now, why would a billionaire, person who's worth billions, be involved in some small sex cult that was starting to be developed low key with just a no good sleazeball who was branding people, and she was looked at as one of the investors, while her husband was looked at as a man who was hunting Americans down in Libya. He was funding a group over there as she married a Liberian guy. They just have a thing for men of color. I don't understand what's going on over there with the Brahmins. So these Romanian Jewish men know that their family crest meant a lot to them, and they wanted to make sure that the Brahmin legacy lives on with people who are aligned with their agenda of their estate and everything else. They're not going to have a loose end. M.I.A to them was a loose end. So to make sure that she understood and she did not want to conform to their ways, she ended up losing custody, and she's still trying to fight now as she went to ask Beyonce, who was close to her at the time, for help. Well, see, the thing is that in 2013, MIA was sued by the NFL because she gave up the middle finger during a halftime performance at the 2012 halftime show at the Super Bowl. Now, Jay Z urged her to sign what she calls a bad contract. Now, that's something that many people didn't know. MIA declared that she needed to sign this contract in order for Jay Z to be happy. You know, she got hit with a $16 million lawsuit. Then her manager, Jay Z, wanted her to sign a suit that that would have her turning over her earnings for the rest of her life. She was at Rock Nation at the time when Jay Z was managing her. The lawsuit was so ridiculous. It proposed that they would keep 100% of her earnings for the rest of her life if she ever earned more than $2 million. Jay Z was like, "You should sign that." And I was like, "No." Like, why in the world would she sign something like that? So MIA didn't go for the further detail about the lawsuit, but did joke about being sued again. Oh God, I hope the NFL doesn't sue me again for talking about it. Before saying anything else about the league or the lawsuit, she stopped and added, "Oh, I'm not supposed to talk about it." So that's how it was going down. So during her performance she did with Madonna and Nicki Minaj at the Super Bowl, she omitted the cuss word during her performance and gave a middle finger to the camera, according to NBC. And she had kept it clean during all the rehearsals, but during the live performance, she screwed up. And that caused a big ripple and a big wave. Now, why would Jay be pushing for her to sign that? And this is back in 2013. He's really trying to go for the corporate world. He's protecting the corporate investment because that's what he's about. Jay ain't about her. Jay's about what he can get out of her. Jay has always proved he's not about this woman. He's about what he can take and manipulate from this woman. So she went to Beyonce for help. She's a mother and was like, they're trying to take my baby. Like, what's going on? Why aren't you trying to help me? She's not even allowed to see her child. Julian Assange and the war in Palestine. She mentioned that. She talked about Joe Biden. Biden won't let me see my child. The longest processing is meant to be 2 months. It has already been that. She is ineligible for a US visa without any reason of why. They're basically saying she has to wait for a Republican to come to office because 9 months from now is the election. Then she claimed her 14-year-old son now is currently staying with people convicted of trafficking. And we was going to talk about that because I got a little bit off track, but Sarah Brockman was convicted for 6 years because of her involvement in that whole case when the feds came and broke up that cult. Now, she claims she's not allowed to see her child for stealing food at 18 when she was poor, yet the government is okay with a child being connected and being with a convicted person for child trafficking and cults and everything. Okay. The difference between her and migrants coming in is that she can't vote. I'm paying US taxes too. Now that's sick. Well, she's been denied a visa because of her support for Julian Assange, who was the WikiLeaks guy, right? Her calls for a ceasefire in the Israel and Palestine conflicts. She's shown support for Julian for 14 years, so many US people did not want to grant her any type of leeway, anything. Now she's forced to pick between her child and speaking up for what's right by God. So her first custody battle was in 2013. Her child was 4. She claimed Jay-Z was ultimately paid by the Brothers. She actually showed that the Brofman's cousins was amongst the leaderships of the cult, the Exum cult, right? She said, be very clear. Her record was buried in 2013. She had a whole album ready to go. She said, I sacrificed my career for my child. They ripped me off and copied my style and gave it to their puppets and shadow banned me on every platform. But it was worth it to save him from the madness of what you now know. Now, y'all might be saying, who are the puppets? She's talking about Rihanna, Beyonce, Rita Ora. That's who she's talking about. She called them the puppets who were still in her style, but mainly Beyonce. Well, the connections between the Brofmans and the Clinton family goes all the way back because the Libyan regime of Colonel Gaddafi was killed. Hillary Clinton gave Sarah Brofman Gaddafi's oil fields after he was eliminated and killed. She was punished for saying he helped Africa. Then they tried to send her child to one of her schools. When she went to go visit the school, the children looked dozy, drugged, and couldn't tell why. So she refused. So the rapper who also used to be in a relationship with these people took aim at Jay-Z and Rock Nation. And she said, the day I was served for my child, Rock Nation, as sick as it was, they stopped all communication with her. They stopped all emails. Jay-Z, asking for help was wiped from the inbox. All her emails to Jay-Z asking for help was wiped. crib was broken into. Every laptop was taken. She was trapped in Brooklyn in order served that they restricted her, leaving her in Brooklyn for 15 years. She said, I had sex in Texas once in 2008. I wish my fight for my child was just that random with just with a random dad and not that entire cesspool of the US government and a global banking institution. And now Israel wars, a military industrial complex, and a bunch of pedos. Like, how does this happen? So she's bringing up a whole lot of stuff that's going to irritate the entire world when they hear it because she's breaking the mold. But Jay being paid off, I believe in 100%. She did not want her child vaccinated, and they vaccinated her child. They've been lying to him since he was 4. They got another woman pretending to be his mom, and it's not your own child. You don't care how you can psychologically damage a child with mental games. And that this woman named Aurora, who they got around her child, is Beyonce and Solange's friend. So this is why she called out Beyonce for what was going on. She said, again, they vaccinated him even after calling me an anti-vaxxer and humiliating me in the press for 2 years and canceling her latest record from all promos and touring. Again, sacrificing another LP, yet they still vaccinated him at 12 to get at me. And that's what she said. Jay-Z, Rock Nation, the Brofman family, Aurora James, and Hillary Clinton have not yet responded to any of these claims. Mm-hmm. So let that be known. This is what's going on in these circles. Of course, Jay took the money. Now, when have you ever seen somebody who was convicted of trafficking involved in that family, and they would allow a mother to be stripped of her child? It's it's almost comical, but it's sad. It's really sad because they're saying ain't nothing you can do about it, and they see the state of where we are right now, and no one seems to be caring to do anything about it. I'm out.